lot of the criticism that I have also seen about the various frameworks is around their lack of readiness for production performance. That was a big concern for you as well, and you spent a lot of time thinking about it. So maybe recap what was wrong with the frameworks and how did you go about it?
I'm just trying to do something at work, and I am looking at a code that the equivalent of a supervisor agent is now 800 lines long. Why? Because I found myself repeating the same pattern, copying and pasting again and again. In fact, most of it is from other people, but I'm going to reuse their code. I'm doing the same thing. I'm also copying and pasting. They're copying and pasting. We just have this large thing that's got a lot of these little if-else flows, but then it's not that easy to follow. So that makes it very difficult to maintain. That's one problem with maintenance. The other issue is, once again, like it's about how fast they are changing. And this isn't just about the frameworks, but also about the models. This is a bit subtle. When you use an API or the model itself, either way, you look at it and say, okay, there is Mixtral and it's 8 and 7B. So that's the Mixtral that I'm using. I don't know about Mixtral in particular, but when I look at Hugging Face, I realize that people keep updating those models. And the same thing has been happening with AutoGen and LangChain as well. So there are all of these little changes that are happening. So something that you created today might behave differently a little bit further down the line. Like right now, I'm not seeing anything to freeze a model like you would freeze a library. Like for example, if I'm going to production with a traditional library, I don't know, pandas, I don't want it to go beyond a certain version without me deciding so, because the new functions, they might obsolete some functions. Some functions might go away and my code might fail. So I need to be able to test that when I'm upgrading. I want it to happen under my control. Here it's out of my control. And I'm actually trying to fix that by creating, what I want to do is, you know how like in all of these tutorials, if you're trying to run Olama, you say Olama run or whatever, and it pulls the model. At that moment, it's pulling the latest model. So I don't want that, because every time I deploy something, it will upgrade without me knowing. So I say, okay, I'm going to download the model, put it into the cache, and then make it one with the container. At that point, the container's image contains the model. It's not going to download anymore. So making sure that it does that, and then I'm going to use those. And then if I want to upgrade, yeah, I can upgrade later on. But this is like the one that was time-stamped at this moment in time, and I've tested it with this, and it's good. That was also one of my particular considerations. I think to bring it together, two things: models and frameworks keep updating themselves way too rapidly. Things might get obsoleted. I don't trust it. That's not production readiness. They are very difficult to read when you want to quickly get to the bottom of something. One other thing that I've noticed after this, like this is coming recently, is that it's actually extremely easy to create these situations with AutoGen, for instance, where you have continuous agents running in the background, but then if the user never receives a message, you don't even realize that's the case. If you, in traditional programming, if your code's going to flow in one direction and you're going to be able to follow it, and if there's a function, you're going to go into the function and then finally it outputs something. In here, if you have continuous agents running at the background, if they pass something between themselves, you're not going to notice that. Or if they just drop something, there's just going to be some sort of warning in the logs, and like user never receives anything. So it's actually really easy to create those ridiculous user experiences where it looks like it's hanging. That's a bit of a third problem. So that's it. That's all I can think of.